Ok, un po' più centrata almeno. Mi dispiace tutti quelli che vogliono Nier Applicant non è ancora finito. Dobbiamo fare tutti i finali. Lo sto facendo, almeno mi sto preparando per fare tutti quanti. Mi devo anche informare per bene come fare, cosa fare. E quindi adesso niente, andiamo avanti con la storia. Io ero qui. Ah, sì, è vero che ero qua. Cos'ho nell'inventario? Gioco? Grazie. Ok. Lo so già che ho questa nuova roba qui. Posso uscire di qua? Sì. Ok. E me ne vado. Alla veloce proprio. Ui! Chi mi ha visto? Stai... No.
Take this! Thunderclap!
Thunderclap. Ah! Quanto sento alto.
Take this!
Che aia, che male. Ah! Mi piace questo...
Lightning flash!
Almeno... Non ti preoccupare, tu guarda sempre. Tu guarda sempre su Telegram. No, non guardare la Twitch. Ma sono iniziata adesso. No, 2 minuti. Non ti preoccupare. Ho provato la statua di balla al 2 intanto. Ah, quella è Inazuma City. Ora. Ma vai tranquillo. Chest. No. No. Non mi devo fermare. Devo andare dritta. Dritta per dritta. C'è tempo per quelle chest. C'è tempo per le chest. Inazuma Totò. Sto andando nella direzione giusta? No, la stavo sbagliando a posto. No, no, non l'ho messo. Però puoi dirlo. Mi puoi dire tranquillamente. Bel movet. Come si dice in carpigiano. Oh, andale, andale. Allora, i miei moderatori sono autorizzati. Dagli, anche dagli. Sono autorizzati a fermarmi quando vedono che mi sto fermando. Dove devo andare? Ma qua mi sono persa io, scusate. Allora devo fare il giro? Di qua? Sì. Cioè, quindi sono autorizzati praticamente i miei bellissimi e amatissimi moderatori a dirmi: te deve dare una mossa, non distrarti, non commentare troppo. Perché a volte quando voglio essere logoroica il tastino... Ah sì, è giusto. Giusto, giusto, grazie. Sì, esatto. Cioè, finché è un commento di poco, ok. Salve.
According to the letter, this should be the place.
Ho deciso che lascerò l'inglese, nonostante adori il giapponese, eccetera, durante le live. Per anche aiutare perché magari ci sono anche molti stranieri, i miei amici e non, che vengono e magari così possono ascoltare se proprio non sentono. Insomma.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Stai calma, sono solo entrata.
We're not the general public.
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging by your attire.
Sì.
Are our clothes really so... what Paimon needs?
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Tohma.
Succhiurlo, esatto.
It seems there's more to you than meets the eye. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House,
Ah.
a safe haven for the Yashiro
Con la
Commission.
raccomandata tutto a posto.
That sounds more like it.
Più che altro perché durante le cutscene io non riesco a parlare, mi viene istintivo ascoltare e capire subito, cioè quindi... Ma meno male che c'è Tohma. Adesso rido, ok, adesso rido. Sono pronta. Fammi ridere, Genshin. Sto ridendo da sola in questo momento, non è stato Genshin a ridere perché sono un po'...
Well, now that we're here, where's Tohma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere. Do you think he forgot his promise to meet
Ma non
us?
credo che...
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Lo voglio pettare tantissimo.
Relax, no need to look so surprised.
Guarda,
I take it this is the
Giacomino,
first
c'è un
time
dogo
you've
che
seen me in
parla
this
con
form?
il coso, tutto vestito carino, che ci vende il tè.
Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
No, caro, ma sei
Now that you
bellissimo.
mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
Alright, I've had my fun.
No,
Ugly
bravissimo.
nickname, mister.
Well,
Ma
I
che
had
carino.
some time to
Non l'hai
kill,
vestito tu,
given that I've
vero?
been waiting here for you for so long, as was the case
Ma
in Rito.
come si fa a non amarlo?
So
Ma
I
io lo
came up with this
voglio.
little fun
Io voglio
greeting for
Tohma.
when you arrived.
Oh, c'è uno che scazza così,
But
ma
in all
volentieri.
seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier. Though it was quite necessary.
Ok, guarda.
It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside us.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all
Dai,
serious
ha fatto uno
now.
scherzo, su, dai.
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rules from the very beginning, haven't you?
Sì.
Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same. But when the lightning struck... so you've heard of his story.
Sì, ce l'ha raccontata la storia.
His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the
Ok.
Yashiro
Sì,
Commission
andiamo
is
da
located.
Yaka. E
But
vai.
before that, there is
Oh.
one other place I was hoping you both would accompany me to.
Io adoro i corgi comunque. So che non è un
I would
corgi.
like you to come with me to
Però
the
adoro gli
statue of the
Shiba. Sono
omnipresent
bellissimi.
god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from practically anywhere on Narukami Island.
Quindi vanno qui dietro. Grazie. Non capisco gli insetti. Gli insetti sono una cosa che non mi piace perché sono insetti. Posso parlare con Tarumaru? Oh, quanto sei carino. Woof. Woof. Ok, me ne vado. Woof, woof, woof. 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 Sto solo guardando, poi corro. Ah, vedi che c'era qualcosa. Cioè, mio tutto, mio tutto. Ma le case da tè qua si beve solo il tè, vero? Voglio Sara, voglio Tohma, voglio Goro, voglio troppa gente. Sì, ve l'ho detto, volete le stesse cose alle volte. Il che ci sta, eh. Giacomino! Gente impazzita. Io Goro e Tohma ve li lascio, va bene. Tanto tu hai Yaka, vengo io con Tom e ti chiamo My Lady. 7 va bene. Oh no, non fuggire. Vengo io. Fugge da me. Ah, lo stato gigante di Bal.
This area sure feels gloomy. People probably don't come here often, do they? Huh?
Va bene, la faccio dimagrire.
Or are there things embedded in the statue?
Eccolo. Eccolo, Toma.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt decree are put into this statue?
Come? Ma
So you've
è
already heard of the
terribile.
Vision Hunt decree.
Sì, vabbè, ma se me la fa vedere, se me la fa vedere loro, ce lo capisco, me lo stanno anche dicendo.
Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and
Okay.
Liyue is the city of contracts. As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity.
E ok,
The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity.
ok.
The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule over Inazuma. As
Ma
such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs, and the Sakoku Decree to limit the people's movement.
ok, e
The
cosa abbiamo
Shogun
visto?
wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time
Sì,
to
ma
flow
per
from
quale
one
motivo?
end to the other without disturbing it, for all time.
Seems like every god has their own will.
E
Of
questo va
course,
bene,
this is my
però...
own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent Vision Hunt decree, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such instability to exist. Whatever the case,
Ma non credo...
the
Sì, ma
fact
è
is
una
that
sua
the Raiden Shogun has
supposizione.
dispatched the Tenryou Commission
Non
to
è...
scour
Io
the
voglio sentire
nation
da
for visions,
Balle.
embedding each
Da
one
Balle,
in this
proprio
statue.
le sue.
And this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being, oh, I don't know, selfish?
Sì, egoista, assolutamente.
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly against the Raiden Shogun. And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day
Anche
it was
perché se fa
announced.
prima risorgere Teivat se non vuole che ci siano le vision. Cosa?
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything. Did something happen?
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then what?
Aspirations?
Addirittura.
That would seem to confirm the saying. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision represents their ambition. So if what you just said is true,
Sì, ma
then the
così è come
ambitions
rubare i
of these people
sogni.
are stronger than I imagined.
È come rubare i sogni
All right, time for the next stop on
di
our tour of
qualcuno.
Narukami Island, the Kamisato Residence.
Perché?
Finally!
Io devo sentire da Bal le sue ragioni, devo sentirmele dire da lui, non voglio supposizioni. Le supposizioni sono supposizioni e rimangono tali. Va bene, supposizioni comunque logiche così, ma, ma il vero, ciò che... Allora, magari non dico che Tohma non ha ragione, perché comunque non credo che l'abbia detto così randomicamente, e questo va benissimo, perché ci ha pensato, ha detto una supposizione, è basata comunque sulla logica e va benissimo, è giusto ascoltarla, ma voglio sentire la baile anche perché. Dai, Yak, fatti vedere tutta la tua bellezza. Che devo sgambettare. Hop, hop, corro, corro.
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh?
E non farmi scegliere fra il mostro
I
dell'Ilve.
expected it to be snazzier.
Da un vale le leggende sembrano belle, ma non per me.
To the Kamisato residence, honored guests. Miss Kamisato is delighted to finally meet you.
Meno
Is
male.
this the Shirasage Himegimi you keep going on about? So, where's she at? Oh, behind the screen?
Non è,
Yes.
non è uno schermo.
As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro
bellissimo.
Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
Makes sense. She's a super important person after all.
Vabbè, se non vuole farsi vedere
Please
subito la
forgive my
capisco.
lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, especially following such a long and wearisome journey over the sea. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation.
Sì, lo so, ma
And Tohma
quello
assures
che
me
vede non
that
è
you
uno
do
schermo.
indeed possess the power to change the tide of the times. At present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, the people's aspirations are being senselessly trampled underfoot. Though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun,
Che bello che
it
fanno
is
dei
the
kimoni.
people with whom we share close bonds, given the contact we are required to have with them in the performance of our duties. A commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people.
Ok.
Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation without also remaining indifferent to our own fate.
Ok.
Traveler, lend us your power and we can...
Sì, in effetti non sono venuta per iniziare una ribellione.
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
Ma io voglio iniziare una
No,
ribellione.
please, wait! Please, don't go! I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes
Sono
on my
diventata un
behalf.
genio, devo fare 3
What
desideri.
are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
Ok. 3 persone che hanno perso la
A warrior
vision.
who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a swordmaster determined to become the best in the world. Does Paimon got that right?
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will await your...
No, lo voglio fare, ma io voglio fare questa ribellione. Io voglio andare dalla Shogun e darle un paio di schiaffoni. Certo, non c'era. Guardala, scomparsa, bravissima. E Tohma che... Cos'è? Udinì. Si è allontanata subito. Bravissima. Perché il salva? In Genshin grazie al cielo non c'è il salva. Sì, per i caricamenti a volte non aiutano. Dove devo andare per parlare con queste 3 persone? Ah! Che culo vicino al terra. Ah, esatto, quindi era lì dietro. Ho usato il microfonino. In realtà lei era fuori a parlare.
Let's see. Where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare.
Oh.
The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
Sì, sì. Ma c'ero già, ma fateli finire di parlare.
Ah, you must also... Tejima has protected
Okay.
this place ever since he... Keeping out the
20 anni fa.
treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near. Result... But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We can't help but wonder. We will gladly...
Ma è strano. Kenjiro.
If you want my opinion, something to do with the vision. It's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. After that, he became a completely different person. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he
Ciao,
lost
Madame
something
Pinghesatutti.
very important to him. He went off on a walk. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But it
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here.
Dimmi, Tejima, qual è il problema?
You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay. True,
Allora, non è...
but that's not why
Non
I
è
chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30
Esatto, sono
years ago?
son bravissimi.
And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember anymore. Ever since they took my vision
Sì,
away,
addirittura. La Vision si lega
it's like
tantissimo
a slice of
al
my memory is
possessore.
gone. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now. So I thought, what's to stop me from moving around instead?
Ok.
Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you used to stay, you won't need to leave anymore,
Esatto.
right?
Ci sarà pure una ragione per cui sei rimasto qui per 30 anni.
If you can't remember
E non certo perché eri
anything,
ubriaco.
It's not gonna be easy. Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then it'll all come flooding back.
Sì, e questo l'ho capito.
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit.
I keep a diary?
Ho detto che siamo
If
fai
you
nulla.
say so. I honestly can't seem to remember.
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting
Quale dei
things,
tanti Twitter di
things
Genshin?
which would prove
Su
very
Baal?
important at a later date.
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving, we just need to find his diary. It must be a...
If you don't mind, we will leave you to...
E quale cosa vogliono fare con Sony?
This looks like Tejima's diary, all
Invece
right?
dipende con quale gioco, ovviamente.
Let's see what we have here.
Da sì? Regalano a Loi?
Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I
Oh
messed
mio
up and
Dio!
burned mine a little, so I had to pretend that it was black snakehead instead. Today,
Sì,
I
non so
rescued
cosa c'entra, ma...
who had
Ah!
fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend
La
Bobby
terrò
was
come
still in the
trofeino,
water.
magari,
I
visto che la
searched the water
regalano.
the whole afternoon before finding
Arco?
out that
Perché
Bamboo
arco crio?
was the new crab. I went
Che...
kite flying today.
Cioè, arco ok, ma Crio...
I soon realized I was never going to get it back. Seems like your average diary of daily village life.
Ma...
Huh? Wait, there's more! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while.
Sì, ma non Crio. Dentro, esatto, dentro era molto...
But it is... Now that's the kind of info we're looking for.
No, basta, di nuovo allo shrine? Ah, no, ok, di qua, di qua. Sì, perché Aloy è molto più legata alla terra.
So this is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting.
Bene, non so ancora niente. Sto scoprendo adesso la storia, sto sgambettando per andare avanti.
But anyway, if he had this with him all the time.
Quindi non ho ancora visto niente, voglio solo fare la storia subito in modo da potermela esplorare un po' ovunque. Magari per te. Non lo so, boh. Conta che dopo che sono stata un... cioè, mi sono presa quei giorni perché mi dovevo riposare dopo aver avuto il vaccino. E anche perché comunque il weekend di per sé è stato Sì. Cosa devo cercare? Ah, elementare, niente. Oh, hanno cambiato. L'hanno reso un po' più decente. Ho messo Jolie. Ho messo Jolie a caso. Sono 3 pietre. Scusami.
Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again?
Oh, safe home.
Huh. So the reason Tejima came
Sì,
here was to
Bale è
wait for
buona.
someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, guess
No,
they
giuro,
didn't
non ho
show up in the
letto.
end, huh?
Non ho letto, scusami.
Let's go give
Non
Tejima
avevo
his
proprio
stuff back
letto.
and take it from the...
Concordo, benissimo. È buona quanto vuoi, ma deve avere delle buone ragioni, che sennò l'essere buona va in secondo piano. Kokomi è quella tipo sirena, vero? È il castro di di Hydro, vero? No, anche lei è molto bella, mi piace lei. Però non so se riuscirò a prenderla, intanto sto sperando per Yomiya.
That I chose to wait for 30 years.
Oh.
Over the years, I must have made a note of anything
No, è molto
interesting,
carina.
anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things
Sì, la voglio tanto Yomiya.
The time has flown by so quickly. 30 years feels like the blink of an eye.
Ma mi spiace,
How could I have
Tato.
forgotten something so important to me? Love, regret, everything I felt. No, not especially.
Come?
After all, I've forgotten who she was.
Ma che cosa brutta!
Her voice, the things we experienced together. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years... I think... maybe not. If this is something I waited most of my life for,
così veramente.
I suppose I should carry on waiting. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember so much as her name?
Vabbè.
When I think about it like that, I do feel a slight tinge of sadness in my heart. How curious.
Sì, è tutta viola.
È
tutta viola, è vero. È bellissima, io adoro il viola.
The feeling that I shall remain here and keep waiting for her.
Sperando che lei non sia morta nel frattempo.
Okay, but still, seems it's just like Ayaka and Tohma were saying. If you lose your vision,
sì, ma addirittura per le sogni e le speranze, ma perché?
Certainly explains the state Teijima was in earlier. At least we were able to help him, weren't we? Well, let's go find the next person.
No, sta aspettando una persona, ma quella persona è legata alla sua, è legata ai ricordi che aveva insieme, cioè che ha avendo la vision. Quindi sto aspettando questa persona, però la vision lo aiutava semplicemente a rivedere, ad avere i ricordi di lei. Ha perso la vision, ha perso i ricordi, le sensazioni di questa persona, che è una cosa terribile e io no. Sì, perché perdendo la vision ha perso anche i ricordi di questa sua amata, a quanto pare, ed è la cosa più terribile di tutte.
They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and... But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh?
Dai, andiamo subito a chiedere.
Over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
Oh, ma
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation. How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Tranquilli, ragazzi, tranquilli.
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's gang, no doubt.
Ma che cazzo?
What? We just happened to be passing by.
Oh sì, va bene.
See what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can help us settle this matter. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army.
È il fatto che non puoi.
Issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself. I just know it.
Guarda.
We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors.
Beh, sì.
He's the same as all the other samurai. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated.
Su quello sono d'accordo, Ota.
Need people like him helping her rule the nation.
Anche se intanto ci sono delle persone muscolose, ma non sono niente di che.
But why would she ever want us to help someone like him? Maybe we should talk to Kurosawa and see what he has to say.
Grassi. Kurosawa. Che buono, mamma mia, tutti vogliono farveli Mondstadt in realtà. O Madame Ping vogliono.
But either way, my own family can barely get by as it is. No, if you look, that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision, and they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun.
L'hai delusa, come?
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt Decree. Why would you be unworthy of your vision?
Esatto, l'armato di ciabatte.
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this...
Qualcuno ti deve qualcosa?
Like someone...
Does it have to do with the missing emergency?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself,
Anche quello è vero.
such hard times right now.
Ma mi dispiace troppo, non ce la faccio.
Just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by these two. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders
a quanto
yourself.
pare... Vabbè, uccidiamo.
Telling the truth. But we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have to say.
Sì, appunto, ma per quale motivo? Ma basta! Guarda, spero sia una 4 stelle, così almeno la prendo pure io, almeno ci provo, altrimenti quei 4 stelle mi stanno andando in merda. Ah! No, dai, volevo fare l'altra qui un salto.
We really outdid ourselves this time.
Gioco? Ok.
Those samurai houses packed with goods.
Sì, per ora sì. Ho fatto un paio di queste secondarie, ma proprio un paio.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came from.
No, per sbaglio no. Ho fatto un paio. È per questo che voglio finire subito la storia, almeno cercare di fare in fretta. Sì, ma l'avrei fatto anche senza che me lo dicessi tu. Perché? Boh, meno male che c'è Zhongli.
Oh, there goes all the Mora.
Esatto.
Hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss, think of something.
Il vostro boss.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? Kurosawa.
Dimmi, gli hai rubato qualcosa?
So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck.
Ah sì, è vero, il teleport. Non puoi uscire da Inazuma. TP.
Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box.
Sì, esatto, ti prendo a me pecore.
I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught
va
us,
bene.
how about we make a deal? That little box for our free.
La cosa bella è che io non ero uscita perché avevo paura mi fermassero. Con me aveva funzionato, non puoi uscire da rito, va bene.
What the? There's nothing in here but IOUs.
Yeah. One of them too.
Ok, non posso uscire, va bene, sto qui. Aspetto di fare la storia.
A Miss Aoi. We're talking tons of Mora here. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the bottom of this. As for you guys, you're free to...
Yes, so
Fate
we
bravi.
redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Life goes on.
iOS non saprei dire cosa possa significare. L'ho sentito in molte cose. No, è un modo di dire qualcosa, non mi ricordo che cosa.
Lightning Splash!
Mamma mia, se devo sgambettare le veloce. Beh, vabbè, è un modo per farti usare un po' poi gli elettro. Ma non è niente di che. Alla fine poi sono dappertutto. Sono seriamente ovunque, quindi alla fine. Con chi devo parlare? Con lei? Sì, dai!
Momono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I? Or perhaps
There's something you want to... Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it?
Mi sta sul culo con la voce, non so per quale motivo.
Whoa, whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all
Vabbè, dai, su. Per robe del genere.
end up owing you so much money.
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs.
Sempre su, e poi viene sul suo conto.
The price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? The price?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating
Quindi
how
lui,
much they needed to
nonostante il
sustain
prezzo
them
fosse
in time.
molto alto, lui comunque prendeva quanto bastava per tutti, nonostante fosse comunque tanto.
Especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Cioè, preferì andare in debito giusto che lasciarli morire di fame.
Kurosawa was purchasing all, and no one ever appreciated what he did.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the
gesto veramente onorevole, gli ha tolto la vision per
then there
questo.
wouldn't be such a severe backlash now. Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed.
Sono sicura che molti non meritano le vision. Sono assolutamente certa che molti non se le meritano. Ah, non puoi far tutto l'album fashion, non puoi fare mattanza.
I see. That reminds me.
Ciao, Rico.
It seems that his vision was recently confiscated. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Ah.
Sword? Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very... I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell.
Cicciolo.
In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're looking for. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But we didn't buy anything.
Ma infatti perché devo...
Information is also a
Ah, va bene quanto vuoi.
I won't charge
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from.
E Inazuma parlano un sacco. Parlavano meno lingue. Era Mondstadt. Capisco che mi devono dire un sacco di cose, va benissimo. Rido un sacco perché noi abbiamo la vision e il potere dell'elettro. Si devono sfogare, esatto. Oh, un nuovo, possiamo fare portello. Insomma, robe.
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left.
Ah, li hai minacciati, ok.
It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
Anche l'Inazuma, pure i mostri. Ma io li chiamo i cipirli. I cipirlotti. E va benissimo così. E vedi che è più veloce. Mi sembra giusto. Ringrazia anche Ethereum per questo. Mi hanno aiutato a fare questo piccolo soprannome per gli cipirli.
But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, this sword was once wielded by my father.
Mi spiace che dovrà vendere. Sì, i cipirli e cose dobbiamo aumentare insieme. Abbiamo inventato insieme il nome cipirli.
And scolded me. What did he say?
E vabbè, ma tu comunque sei venuto dietro.
It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone.
Oh.
Forever.
Non mi piace questa cosa che la gente perda i cose, non mi piace.
All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed.
È vero?
Before he passed away,
La specchi?
he placed the sword in my hands and said to me,
con questa spada tu devi proteggere la gente?
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
Virtù e giustizia.
Virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use of virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. And look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was... And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still
per
felt
forza,
sorry
perché
for
no,
brightening them with my
sono
blade.
arrabbiati perché non...
I'm incapable
Insomma.
of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't
Sì, vabbè,
know
ma
what
se
to
rovina
do
così
with myself.
tanto.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Tohma about Kurosawa's
Oh.
debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is a
Perdi
terrible experience.
quasi ciò per cui vivi.
Fortunately for us,
Perdi una parte
you
di te
don't have a
stesso.
vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
Ma io a sto punto sarei già convinta. Cioè, loro vogliono che facciamo la terza perché sì. Però, cioè... io mi sarei già convinta alla seconda. Anche alla prima.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword
Mi piace che
master
hanno
around
voluto un
these
po' più
parts.
animare le cose.
Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of
È bello vedere un
Meikyo
pochino di più Lumin camminare, eccetera. Cioè,
dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought
sì,
them
è
all off
ovvio.
in the
Paimon
end,
chiacchiera
didn't he?
sempre.
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him.
Che
Things
carini.
have gotten dangerous before.
Una
in the
Naka, un
past,
bellissimo
but
nome.
it's never shaken him. This time, though,
It's just because he's been possessed. That's all. Once the exorcism has taken place,
È stato
he'll be right as
posseduto.
rain in no time.
Ragazzi, si chiama depressione.
Did something happen?
Who are you?
Tranquilli.
Don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here
No,
immediately.
non ho fatto ancora niente,
Don't
già mi
make
dici
me
andare
draw my
via.
blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No, you got it so
Vabbè, ma perché lei è bella.
came here to,
Disciples.
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo-Shisama.
Cavolo, il panterone.
We came all this way
Esatto.
to seek him out and ask him to... But then we got here and overheard you talking about...
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look
No,
like you're
Lumin è
from
più bella,
around
mi
here.
dispiace. Paimon è
Please,
pucciosa,
accept my
ma
apologies.
Lumin
We've had so many people
tanta
trying to
roba.
cause us trouble recently that
Cioè, i
we're on high
gemellini sono
alert.
tanta roba in entrambi i casi.
You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not... I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako, Sensei's name is Domon,
Ok,
a name I'm sure you've already heard.
ok.
Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single. He once said
vabbè,
that his goal was to become
fortissimo.
the best sword master in the world. And
Ah,
so,
ecco.
even while training us,
Ecco perché non
he
riesce a...
continued to hone his own art. But then,
not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away.
He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over.
Sì, è pure impazzito uno, a posto.
Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami
Oh,
Island.
devo andare là in fondo di
The
nuovo.
head shrine maiden is reputed to have... Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami... So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just...
Che
The
carini però.
exorcism will take place this evening. You're both...
So, losing your vision can cause possession?
Credo che sia semplicemente impazzito.
Guess we should come back this evening.
Meno male che era venuta già notte.
So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to... Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to
Alcuni
himself.
nomi.
She asked him who the people were. He suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically
È
around
impazzito,
him with
ragazzi, non è
bloodshot
posseduto, è
eyes.
impazzito.
All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew. Others we didn't recognize. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of
Sono un po' stanca,
Sensei's.
ragazzi. Guarda, sono stato sotto il sole per un po'. È impazzuto, mamma mia, sei impazzuto.
And he has... Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the shrine maidens managed to subdue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patient. Please,
L'avrà
excuse me for a moment
addormentato.
while I fetch some water. If you wake...
Che carini però, si preoccupano. Cosa? Ragazzi, credo sia scappato.
Huh? Who's that sneaking around? We won't let them get away with it. Come on! Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up?
Vabbè, io stavo...
Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious
Eccoti.
person-
Abbiamo...
How did you catch up with me?
amico, sei un po' anziano, eh?
Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move unless... I guess it's been a few
forse è
years.
il tizio che lui aveva
Maybe his
battuto,
skills have
eccetera.
improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions
Va
here.
bene.
And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
his senior?
Oh, Doggo. Scusate.
Anzai. Yes, that's me. Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again.
Ma perché sta
When we were
male?
young, we trained under the same sword master. Studying, I had begun training
Okay.
5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and practitioners of Make-Yoshi's Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. But Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him.
Voleva
with a
essere
beat.
migliore,
Sensei
quindi qual è il
scolded
problema?
him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used
Beh,
for such
ok, sì,
vain ends.
non devi usare l'altra della spada solo per
Sensei
quello,
said that
però.
coveting the title of the best sword master, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind. I thought so too at the time. But Domon began making swift progress in his training, and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world.
Vuole essere
He sought
perfetto.
nothing less than
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come...
because until he arrived,
I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Meikyo art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest.
Ma lui ha preso il tuo posto.
When we sparred,
perché ha perso contro di te.
not just the match, but my pride and my later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respected his mastery of the blade, and so, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false.
Oh, whatever.
How could he?
Dai,
I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name.
Ma non credo che ti abbia dimenticato. Ha fatto il suo primo nemico, cioè avversario.
I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story.
Seems like we got it wrong. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back.
Non so. Penso sia solo impassito. Va bene. Ma dai, non mi bloccare a mezz'aria.
You're saying he isn't possessed?
Ragazzi.
Does that mean he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
No, sta male, ragazzi, è un uomo.
Try not to get agitated.
I'm sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed. But
sta male, ragazzi.
Spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. And all is certainly not lost. For I received word not long ago that Lady Yai is taking...
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai?
Si è usato tantissimo.
The head shrine maiden of
Vabbè, era una sacerdotessa poi comunque.
That's wonderful news. Then Sensei will be sure to
correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed and has abundant
sì, ma ragazzi, cioè, basta esorcizzare le cose.
I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei. But Lady Yai...
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask.
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand... I must leave now, but we will meet soon.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady...
No, that's not what I meant at all.
Vabbè, se allora non interessa.
I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself.
Oh.
Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples...
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out.
Speriamo di capire un pochino di più su questo, su Bal. Che altrimenti qua... Che si capisce. Meno male che ci sono andata su lì per una quest, quindi ho sbloccato il teleport. Oh, ecco l'albero che...
Do you think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no wonder Junyo is so excited. She has a really striking... Also, is it just...
Che bella che sei.
Or did she look right at us just now? It was probably...
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please. Let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past gathered all around him to persecute him.
Tipo
Lady Yai,
sucrose.
it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter...
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
E lei è la castra di...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended
Perché hanno tutte le gambe
madness.
bellissime comunque?
As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his
Your school practices make you stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve. There was one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly...
Lady, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster is filled with twists and turns. It is no small... It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor sensei.
I'm sorry,
Father. No.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Anza?
Oh, sarebbe.
The whole way here?
Anzai, why are there two of you? Is that you're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it.
Oh no, è impazzito. Dai, lasciatelo stare, è già impazzito di suo.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I just...
Oh, non se la sta tirando.
I couldn't face the humiliation. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you.
Anche se la Vision puoi fare qualcosa, sono sicuro.
Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from
the hands of the pirates,
I told myself I would I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you
Poi soffrire parte della vita, amico mio.
All I know is that here and now, in the present, I wish to continue. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei Domon before me...
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually...
Oh, che carini.
Goodness.
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands.
Che cosa carina.
Your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions
Che cosa carina però, che hanno cercato di aiutarlo, almeno lui.
So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, you are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had no...
I understand. I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Miyakyoshi, sweetheart. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate.
Ha sofferto sempre la gente.
I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise.
and I humbly ask Ansai.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally.
Verrà a vedere se non hai preso nuovo la testa, che se no dopo ti prendo a testate.
I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore. Well,
ok, ho capito.
Stand there staring at me.
Che carina però di Yae.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over.
Traveler, a moment, please.
Certo che avrà qualche parola con me.
So, my intuition was correct.
Buone tutte, sono tutte buone.
Far carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment.
A quale momento? Trovami una che non lo è, ce ne sono un po', poi dipende.
I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
In che senso? Lady Yae però.
Seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. We can come back to it another time.
No, non il Sacred Sakura. Ok. Wishino? Facciamo un wish. Un attimo di pausa dalla storia, 3 secondi. Facciamo un wish, vediamo cosa esce. Probabilmente un cavolo, però. Andomia. Però almeno aspettate, forse che palle. Vabbè, l'andomia di qua. Adesso Ayaka come minimo devi farti vedere. Mi stavo arrampicando sulla porta, però fa niente. Oddio. Fa caldo raga fuori, vedi con quel cuoricino in mano.
Oh Ayaka, guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Ayaka!
No. Oh! Oh, ciao Tohma! Oh, sei bella! Ah, quanto sei carina! Ah! Occhi grigi!
Traveler, Paimon, it is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face.
Che carina.
I've heard all about how you helped our 3 friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah. Short of getting them their visions back, it seems like there's no way to
almeno ti rinfreschi un po'.
Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet us in person?
Ayaka!
Because now that you have done the 3 things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Tohma also.
Sì.
Wait a second. But isn't Tohma your,
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Tohma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
Oh, sì, amico. Sì, certo.
Okay, then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different now.
Thank you both kindly.
Cosa
Back to
carina.
the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what... Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as
Minchia,
the
biker mai,
Almighty
sono una vita che
Shogun,
non li sentivo.
the lives of those who inhabit the world are inconsequential. Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. all these things, but I believe that surely you understand what I must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which you will?
Voglio anch'io.
Really?
Voglio anch'io farlo. Sì, è vero. Mi sembra giusto. Io ti aiuto con la ribellione, ma tu dovrai fare in modo che incontri la Shogun.
All right, bravo, my lady. You were
My
right
lady,
all along.
oh.
See? I told you she wouldn't reject them. I'd placed my trust in the right person after all. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature.
Ok. Che bella che è. Meno male che ci portano loro.
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
Va bene. Ciao Tohma. Ciao bello.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission.
C'è un cane. Basta questo per farlo diventare un posto bellissimo dove poter incontrarsi.
Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Gotta keep a bit of mystery, right?
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house.
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case,
Una base
we can talk
segreta.
freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you wish to ask me?
Ok, oddio. Che tipo di dio è
The
la...
almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions. Most of them formal. She
Vabbè.
inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion.
Non prova nessuna
In that
emozione.
She appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. Focused exclusively on her single goal of implementing eternity.
Senza sentimento.
Acting. The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions.
Sì, in effetti è una minoranza. Le persone che la sono una
It is not
minoranza.
unknown for visions to spark jealousy in others. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt
È
Decree is
indifferenza.
one of
Ed è
indifference.
comprensibile.
How can they be like that? Paimon's getting mad.
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting against the decree?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group.
Oh.
To say a little more about Sangonomiya. Historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the shogunate of Narukami Island due to their different belief systems. But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind the resistance movement.
Ok, quindi c'è la resistenza. I partigiani praticamente.
We've tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, they invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. They have no interest in discussing anything. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt Decree.
Ooh, Paimon has a question though.
Vai, una domanda.
What would you like to know, Paimon?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision Hunt Decree?
Esatto.
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt Decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a difficult step to take.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example,
Esatto.
by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing
Esatto,
counterfeit
danno
vision for them
rifugio
as a
chi ha la
contingency
vision in modo
measure.
da non farli ammazzare.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake visions?
Come?
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with counterfeit
È
visions,
stato arrestato. Dobbiamo salvare questo tipo, vero?
Darn! So they found out about it?
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But we cannot simply abandon Master Masakatsu. Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Tohma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission...
Sì, non possono fare loro.
By no means do we intend to place the... When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop run by the...
Ah, fico. Bella sei, Ayaka, bella. Bella lei. Ciao. Ciao, bella. Bella. Me ne vado. Dove si esce, Ayaka? Dove si... Di qua. Ciao, Wolf. Volevo vedere Bal, ma non credo che ci arriverò. Non viva almeno. Santo cielo. Dimmi che non devo andare troppo in là. 90 metri, va bene. No, che non so per quale motivo mi sto sentendo di un stanco. Occhi stanchi. Caldo, nonostante comunque c'è il ventilatore di fianco. È un mal di testa. Veramente tanto.
If you think your elemental powers are enough to resist the Vision Hunt decree, then you'd better think again.
Il testo, signore, ok.
You're not the first of your kind we've encountered, and we've seen the same unpleasant outcome time
Almeno
after
finire sto
time.
dialogo.
You'd best save yourself the trouble.
Can't you make an exception? I just got this vision. I won't even use it, I promise.
Ci vede? No, io ci vedo. Sono solo super stanca, non so per quale motivo. E mi è venuto un mal di testa enorme. No dai, proprio adesso che viene gli umiliani non ce la sto facendo più. Bella, c'è l'amore mio. Mi odio però. Mi odio. Mi odio. Sì, ci vede il tipo. Non urlare.
All right. Here, take it.
Wise choice. All right, let's go.
What should we do now? He's already given up his vision. This is your fault. You're the one who's...
Many thanks, Miss Yoimiya. If you hadn't swapped me a fake just now, I'm sure I would have lost it.
Oh.
No worries. You put on quite the convincing performance.
Oh, so that's what's going on here. And the thing Paimon
Mi trasferisco in questo villaggio deciso. No, guarda. Trasferisci dopo che abbiamo fatto rinsalire Bal.
Think nothing of it. I could tell from your reaction we were on the same side. You just didn't know it, you know?
Quanto sei bella!
Allow me to introduce
guarda che
myself.
carina.
I'm Yoimiya, the current owner of
Yoimiya.
Fireworks.
Okay.
It ain't much, but it's honest work. Great to meet ya.
Practically everyone on Hanamizaka knows Yoimiya. She's the queen of the summer festival. Without her and her fire...
Whoa, that's quite the introduction.
Stop it, Hanjiro. You'll embarrass me.
Quanto sei bellina.
For thanking me, you'd be better off thanking Master Masakatsu. He's the one that gave me the fake visions in the first place. His handiwork allowed me to keep my own vision. I can't even...
Yes, Master Masakatsu is a good man. It's too bad good people seldom get the recognition they deserve.
Master Masakatsu?
Huh? Do you guys know him too? You don't say. Then it sounds like the Shirasagi Hime
Beh, non ha
has
proprio un piano.
Awesome! I've been thinking about breaking him out too recently. But if I just
È successo un bordello durante le campagne, è successo un bordello.
Kamisato in a whole heap of trouble. So, what about if I...
Sì.
Welcome to the team.
Join quando vuoi.
To go look her up at a fireworks shop. She must have met you.
Seems like I finally got a new job to do. Besides hiding vision mirrors in my shop, that is. So, Master Masakatsu is being held at the police station. I've already surveyed the area and found a way in.
Bravissima.
Talk about a reliable source. Seems we've
Anch'io vedo la cesta.
Not bad, huh? Let's go as soon as everyone's ready. Don't worry, Master Masakatsu. We're on our way.
Time to
Ok. Continueremo domani mattina. Continueremo domani mattina per la mia sanità mentale. Oh, Dio santo cielo. Santo cielo. Non sera, no. È meglio la mattina. La sera preferisco. Anche la mattina almeno posso fare un pochino di più. E non ho paura di sforare. La sera è un po' più difficile sforare finché non vivrò da sola. Sì, domani sera preferisco chillarmela. Domani almeno avrò la consapevolezza che potrò andare un pochino, potrò fare un po' più ore invece che 1 ora e 20. Potrei pensare anche a farne 2. Sì, è probabile, poi domani mattina sarò molto più fresca, quello sì. Avremo anche Dogghino, quindi Pollage proprio. Domani mattina ci sarà pure Doggo. Domani mattina fare la live perfetta per Genshin. Continuiamo con calma perché adesso c'ho il mal di testa che mi sta facendo scoppiare il cervello. Sarà il caldo, ragazzi, secondo me appena mi riposo un attimo sono sicura che mi riprendo. Col caldo che c'è tutto normale, perché ho mangiato, ve lo assicuro, sto bene. No, mal di testa terribile. A volte il caldo fa questo effetto. Sì, devo bere. Perché io sento caldissimo, ragazzi. Secondo me appena apro un po' le robe, eccetera, mi riprendo. Tanto bevo, non preoccupatevi. Starò bene, mi devo solo ripigliare. No, alcolici no, non se bevo l'alcolico io dormo fino a domani mattina non ci vediamo neanche. E Dogghino non arriva. Va bene. Ciao belli, adesso vorrei riposare, giuro, prometto. E ci avrò anche l'acquetta di fianco a me, così nel caso almeno potrò stare bene. Ok? Belli che vi preoccupate per me. Ma probabilmente sì, dopo fino a domani sera se bevo alcolici. Ciao belli, vi voglio un mondo di bene, grazie mille per seguirmi sempre, per darmi sempre tanto supporto in ogni cosa, voglio tanto bene. E sì, metto sempre queste mani così perché è il ringraziamento che faccio normalmente. E niente, voglio un mondo di bene, ciao belli, ciao.